Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Kimby Cabanlet. I'll be reporting about the defensive that makes the purchase and the target shares less attractive. Defensive transaction and restructuring. In this chapter emphasizes legal tactics that are meant to avert a takeover. Many defensive steps are actually business rather than legal maneuvers. Defensive restructuring is limited to the cost-cutting activities of enterprises, whereas the strategic component of restructuring is defined by a thoughtful business project of often implying a change in the production profile and a technology breakthrough, usually necessitating investment, is a new project. Some of these maneuvers are highly beneficial for the shareholders, at least in the short run. The threats of a takeover may cause reduce its expenses and improve profitability, sell unneeded assets, run firm of you efficiently. To run business, you must take time to learn your employees' strengths and weaknesses so that you can delegate more effectively. Another class of transaction or restructuring may prove harmful for the shareholders. The management may overload the balance sheet with debt, reducing the potential of the firm to pay dividends in the future. Management may sell major assets of the company. Another frequently used tactic is defensive acquisition, an act by one company to acquire control of another company either through an agreed-upon deal or a hostile takeover. Companies also acquire units of a company, property, or other assets, often used interchange with merger. Pacman defense. The exotic defense is infrequently used is a particular defensive accusation. The defense gets its name from a popular video game by the name Pacman, where ghost figures are chasing the player, and after acquiring the required strength, the player turn around and start chasing the same ghost figures. Therefore, the same analogy is drawn in case of hostile takeover, where the target company put forward a better offer to buy the prospective acquirer and removes the threat of being taken over by it. It is more of a possibility in case of horizontal takeover, in which both the companies are of the same stature, because otherwise executing this strategy is limited by the resources the target company has or can raise. Smaller companies might very difficult to raise enough to acquire a larger company. White knights and friendly block holders. A white knight is a hostile takeover defense whereby a friendly company purchases the target company instead of the unfriendly bidder. While the target company still loses its independence, the white knight investor is nonetheless more favorable to shareholders and management. A white knight is just one of several strategies that a company can employ to try to avert a hostile takeover. And the last, impediment to second steps transaction, supermajority and fair price. In a majority of hostile takeover, the bidder intend to conduct a second stage transaction in which the bidder merges with the target and freezes out the minority shareholders who did not tender their shares in the first stage. With the second steps transaction may serve as a takeover implement, since all states require in shareholder vote to approve a merger. All that is needed to interfere with such a transaction is to add a character provision